Hello, greetings of the day, everyone. Welcome to STEMGo, saving time, energy, and money in your business. Now, today I've got a special guest. He is a business coach, mentor, and strategist, and he is the founder of BBB, Business, the most amazing group on Facebook. If you're not in it already and you're a business owner, you've got to get in there because it is super duper. I love it. And it's so big, it's so useful, load of content for you. So yes, good morning, Clive Enever. Good morning, how are you?
Good morning, Karen. Delighted to be here. But I have to add one thing to your introduction. I have to add that, yes, founder of Business, but co-founder. We've got to mention that Linda is the driving force. If it was left to me, the technology would beat me.
That's a good point, Clive. That it really is a good point. I can't forget the fact that your dear partner there is a superb host to that group. She's amazing, and I don't know how she does everything that she does. She's super duper.
Indeed, and look, it's the important thing about business, I think, is the simplicity of how it operates and why it operates.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's not there, the simple rule or the overriding rule is if you can't say something positive, don't say anything.
Yes, I like that about your group. I really do.
That's about it. If you misbehave, you'll get treated like a school kid and you might get tossed out.
Absolutely. And so, right, they should. I like that because there's so much of that going on Facebook. It's just not necessary. And I don't, like you say, just roll past it. If you don't like it, roll past it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you don't have to get involved. I learned a lesson a long time ago. Somebody educated me to the idea that everybody that I meet is a messenger, and I should pay attention because sometimes the messages are a little bit hard to hear.
Yes.
And one day I was walking down the street, half asleep as usual, just going to the post office, and I noticed some shouting. So I stopped to look around at this shouting, and there, about 15 feet in front of me, is a chap shouting at somebody in a van who's caught in a traffic jam. And I thought, well, that was interesting because what he was saying was not pleasant.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what the message for me is that I'm noticing this. And the fellow in the van felt the need to respond.
Right.
And this went backwards and forwards for about 2 minutes. So, of course, I was late getting to the post office. But what was the point of it all? Don't get involved.
Absolutely. Everybody's
a messenger.
Absolutely. The co-founder of BBB, of course. We need to mention Linda, of course. So you've got a lot of wealth of knowledge in terms of being efficient and effective in business, and producing some great stuff in terms of being able to make a business work and make some money from it. So tell us a little bit about for you. Tell us what works and some nuggets of gold that enable our listeners to be able to learn from that today.
Okay. What works in business? That's opened up a whole array of things that one could talk about. Sure. The most important thing in business is these things here. Can anybody see what I've got? I'm hanging on to here. It's my little earphone thingies.
Yes.
Listen. That's it. Listen.
Is that it? Is a show over?
Yeah. I'll try and make sense of that for you. And I know we're on a fairly short time frame. So I became involved in sales a long time ago, and that happened by accident, not by design.
Sure.
So when I got into sales, the people who were teaching me, they taught me this, that, and the other thing, and woohoo, all good, and they told me it'd work, and I didn't know any different, so I went out and did what they told me, and lo and behold, it worked. So after a period of time, I was working in a team situation, and after a period of time, I discovered that people were buying a lot more from me than they were from others in the group.
Sure.
And I needed to know why that was, because it didn't seem right. Stupid thing to say, but anyway, nowadays I know better, but then I didn't. In researching sales, I discovered that there are certain principles involved, and if you apply those principles, you have a far greater opportunity for success than if you don't.
Sure.
And I found that I could move from a tangible product to an intangible product, from business to business, from industry to industry, and simply applying those simple principles, it worked.
Yeah.
Nothing too difficult about it at all. And people always laugh at me when I say that. Nothing too difficult about selling.
Mm.
So what it comes back to is, if you understand the principles involved in selling, which are pretty much the same as are involved in business. In business, there's a few others, but not too many. And you listen, and you know what to listen for, people will tell you everything you need to have in order to satisfy whatever need it is that they're looking for to be filled.
Sure.
It's all too simple, isn't it?
Well, that's so true, Clive, because what happens is when you're getting sold something, like when you know the really annoying salespeople that come and they talk,
The ones that shout at you and tell you that they're the best, they're the best, they're the best, they're the best, they're the best.
And yeah, they know nothing about you. They've not asked you one question. They're just talking at you the whole time. And you think, how can you possibly sell me something when you don't know what I want? You don't know who I am.
Exactly. And I have, you might have guessed from business, having the simple rule of, if you can't say something pleasant, don't say anything at all.
That's right.
A simple rule about selling. Don't try and sell somebody something they don't want. End.
Yes. Yes. Because even if you do sell them, they may never come back again because they didn't want it in the first place.
And look, it comes to a very simple set of a little formula, Karen, that I'll give your people.
Great, awesome.
And everything that you do, and this is not just confined to business, everything that you do, you apply this very simple formula, and you'll be able to figure out very quickly what's the best thing for you. Everybody draw a triangle on your piece of paper in front of you. Draw a triangle, make it as big or as small as you wish. It doesn't have to be a perfect isosceles or anything else, just a triangle with the base on the bottom. And on the bottom left corner, write plan.
Yep.
And on the top, on the apex, write act, A-C-T.
Yep.
And on the bottom right corner, write evaluate.
Evaluate, okay. Yep. I'm doing this, Clive.
Everything that you do, plan it, act upon it, and then evaluate what happened.
Right, yep.
That's as simple as, I'd like to boil a billy of water. How am I going to boil a billy of water? Well, first you need heat. How am I going to get heat? First I need some wood and I need to make a fire. So if you've made the fire and you've put the billy of water over it and it hasn't boiled the water, we're at the evaluate stage now. What went wrong? The fire wasn't hot enough.
What do we need to do different? Yeah.
What do we need to change in order to get the result that we want?
Yeah.
And it really is as simple as that. Just think about stuff. Don't rush in thinking that everybody wants whatever it is that you have, whatever business you are in. Regardless of what it is, not everybody is going to buy it. If that were the case, think about all the different models of manufacturers of cars that we have. When a person turns up to buy a car, now if you ask most car salespeople, what are they doing on the lot? They're there to buy a car. Yeah. What's the first question they ask you when they find you on the lot? Why don't you buy this one? Well, could be 1,000 reasons.
Yep. You may not be looking for yourself for a start. Hey.
That's right. You might not be looking for a ute. You know, they've got most of the cars there are utes. You might be just checking out the breed, whatever it is. So there's a whole bunch of things in there that,
of course,
you've got to make it really simple for yourself.
That's really good. Really good advice. And I like that because I'm very visual. I like things that I can see and do, not just listen to. But I like that. It's a nice little easy approach to You can visualize it. Every time you think about, I'm going to just act. Hang on a minute. I need to think first. Let's plan
That's
before we
right.
act.
Yeah.
I like that.
Just make a simple plan. It cuts out a heck of a lot of pain.
Yeah.
And look, planning, which of course is something I do a lot of. Planning, 10 minutes of planning will save 2 hours in the doing.
Yeah.
And really, really simple. And you might say, okay, well, everybody plans because most people have a business plan. And according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, we have 2.24 million businesses in Australia at the end of financial year 2017-18. 65% of which will fail in the first 3 years.
Wow. That's
So
a huge statistic, eh?
if most of those, or any of those, have a plan, what's wrong with the plan? Well, the first thing is it's not detailed enough. People who work with me to build a business plan, they're frequently frustrated on the way through, but at the end of it, they find enormous benefit. Why are they frustrated? Because typically, through the process, they'll come up with somewhere between 20 and 50 pages of information about their business. And we'll end up with a plan that is typically between 12 and 20 pages long.
Wow.
So what's been cut out? What's been cut out is the stuff that puts you in the 65% category.
Yes,
Does
all the
that make sense?
unnecessary stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
do you know
that's
what?
the stuff that's going to drag you down.
The bigger the plan, Clive, the less likely it is to be implemented, isn't it? Because it's too unwieldy, it's too overwhelming.
Yeah, and it's full of stuff you don't need. So
Yeah.
the biggest thing about planning is, the biggest thing about planning is the little bit that's actually going to work.
Yeah.
The second biggest thing about planning is getting rid of the huge part that's going to stop you from working.
As an experienced coach, Clive, are you able to see from the outset with people these days that of the little bit that is likely to make all the difference, or is it still a thing about each individual business is different? Each individual business is got its own unique things about it.
The wonderful thing about business is that there is one common thing in every business, and most people seem to miss it. If you think of any business that you know, include your own in it, there is one thing in every business, and go, okay, well, what the devil is one thing that is common to every business? Could it be the car that they drive? No. Could it be that they all pay tax? Well, not everybody pays tax. There's a whole host of things. But the one thing that is absolutely common to every business is a person. What do we know about people? People are individuals.
Yes.
Because they're individual, you can have two businesses that on the outside are identical, but they're run by two different people. Guess what? You've got two different businesses.
Sure.
By way of example, it's a few years ago now, I coached a couple of lawyers independent of each other, and they do very similar things. And part of what I help people to understand is to find what I call a qualifying statement. Now, what's a qualifying statement? When you go to a networking event or you meet Joe Bloggs or Susie Q down the street, and you think, I wonder if these people are a prospect of mine, how do you find out? Well, maybe you could ask 20 questions, by which time they've probably told you to go and do something for yourself. Or if you know the right words to use, which is usually between 12 and 14 and 18 words, I beg your pardon, you can say those words, and those people will either put up their hand and say, I am your prospect, not using those words, or they'll just walk away.
Okay.
Fine, because you know exactly you're not going to waste time on those people.
Sure.
So discovering those things with those two lawyers, although they did very similar things, when we figured out what their qualifying statement was, had we switched them, neither of them would ever have got any business because it didn't reflect their personality.
Sure. That's a really good point. And that
Mm.
is about being efficient and effective, because if you're not kind of warming yourself to that customer, if you're not kind of asking them the right things at the right point in time for the things that you're about to sell them, you are wasting your time, aren't you?
Absolutely.
You'd be better
Yeah,
down the street talking to a different customer rather than
that's
keep
right.
selling to that same customer.
Yes, and look, most people, as they work through this process with me, they say, "Oh, but if I cut out all these people, I won't have any customers." Well, if you have a product which is wanted by
Mm,
somebody, and let's face it, if you actually like it, somebody else is gonna like it.
sure.
But when you cut out all the time you spend talking to people that you don't need to be talking to or shouldn't be talking to, all of a sudden the world changes and you multiply
Yeah.
exponentially the number of clients that you have. Prospects
Mm,
don't count unless they're turning into clients.
sure.
Um, I'll give you an example. I had a group, a couple of people, a husband and wife, came to me. They'd been in business for about 12 years. Is it okay if we run a little bit over, Karen?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
um, and they thought that maybe there was something that they were missing. They'd been
Mm,
doing what they thought was okay,
mm,
but thought maybe there was something different. So cut a long story short, I went through everything that these people do. Now, at the time they started talking to me, they would spend 3 hours talking to a prospect. By close,
yeah. Yes.
win the
Yes.
business, 1 in 10.
Yeah.
We went through this process. We discovered all the things we needed to discover right through from the qualifying statement, through a straight statement of intent, through the 10 major ingredients to a sale. There's a formula for a sale. Did everybody know there's a formula for a sale?
Probably not.
And so on and so forth.
That's another show, Clive.
And across the next 12 months, having discovered all of that and learned how to
Mm,
put it into practice,
yeah.
um, across the next 12 months, they made the same number of sales they had made in the previous 12 years.
Wow.
They multiplied their revenue times 20 and their income times 30. They put on, they had both been working in jobs as well as running this business. They both were
Sure.
moved out of their business, out of their jobs and into the business.
Mm,
They put on 2 people. At the end of the 12 months, they were hiring another 2.
wow.
Um, they spent 45 minutes talking to a prospect and they closed 1 in 2.8.
Wow. Stunning.
It's just a simple plan.
What a massive difference, eh? What a massive difference.
And that's typical of people who have the right plan and the right understanding of who they are, what they do, who they do it with, why they do it, blah, 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 blah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
That is stunning. Thanks, Clive, for all that.
Yeah. Think about that
It
one,
is
Karen.
amazing. And it all starts with the planning. And I know that you are able to help people do that. And I know that you have some great skills to shortcuts, some of those kind of long routes for people to enable them to plan well. It's, get the foundations in place so that you act efficiently and effectively. And when you evaluate, you see actually it works rather than having to kind of
Absolutely.
reinvent the wheel every time.
Yeah. It's hard work to
Um,
get to the right plan, but the right plan is really, really
yeah.
simple.
Yes.
And look, most people just don't believe that it could be that simple. But that's what it is. You've just got to go
Yeah.
through the hard yards to find the simplicity of it.
Well, sometimes it needs a little bit of help as well from someone who knows how to plan well. And I know you like to plan well and you know how to plan well. So you've got a special offer going on your website for this show, guys. This is a special offer.
Yes.
And if you do you want, yes, go on, Clive.
You're right. You can introduce it if you like.
Yes, so through Clive's website, I'm going to put all Clive's details on the show notes afterwards. But what you can do is you can go onto his website, and it's in book a discovery call, isn't it? Book a discovery call.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
You click on
down
that.
towards the bottom of the page.
Yeah, down at the bottom of the webpage. If you click on that and you book in a session with Clive, normally $495, but today you will get that for Zilch. Zilch.
But you have to tell me that Karen sent you.
You have to tell Clive that you're on my show and you will get that session. Hey, how good is that? That is awesome. That is awesome.
That's
so
right. You
yes,
can ask
I'm going
me
to
anything
be
at all about your business, and I'll give you the best answer that I possibly can, and hopefully we'll provide you with some clarity and allow you to move forward a little more quickly.
That's stunning. That is really stunning. So don't miss out, guys. That is a great opportunity that Clive's offering you today. That's something pretty special. So yes, you're a special guest.
Plan, act, evaluate, everything.
Plan, act, and evaluate. Absolutely. It's going to be in my brain. The triangle is in there right now, for sure.
Good work.
So I'm going to let you go. I know you've got lots to do. And yes, pleasure having you on the show, Clive. And I'll be sharing this around various places after the show so that we get lots of engagement on this and get this out to people to kind of imprint this triangle on their brain, of course.
Excellent. Thank you. Lovely to be with you.
Talk to you soon, Clive. Have a great day. All the best.
Bye.
See you. Wow, what a stunning guest. Clive is such a nice fellow too. Such a great guest to have on my show. So yes, remember those great tips, great nuggets. Clive has a great wealth of experience, and you know it's great that he was able to share it with you today to enable you to kind of shortcut some of those processes and to really be more efficient in your business. Because if you haven't got the plan right, what have you got? What have you got? You're just working blind. You're stabbing in the dark. And about that kind of personal touch as well with your clients, that if you don't, you know, like he says, every business could be the same, they could be identical, but it's the person behind the business that makes a difference. So if you're the kind of person that particular client wants, they'll warm to you and you'll be able to do great business together. But yeah, it's all about using what you've got as a business owner, as an individual, to promote your business, sell your business. So that's me. That's Karen Bartle. If you want more information about being productive in your business, saving time, energy, money, come on over to STEMGo business page, save time, energy, money in your business. I'm also going to be putting all these interviews with my guests on YouTube, and they're going to be repurposed as well. So yes, please come along and connect with me, connect with Clive, and make your business the success it needs to be. Awesome. I'll see you next time. Have a great and productive week. Bye for now.